Hi everyone, I'm Steve Braun.
And I'm Risa Brayman Garcia, and we're here at the BGB studio.
Indeed, and we're talking Emmys, Emmy nominations. The voting has just stopped.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so last weekend I was doing the Emmy nominations, and it was a lot because you're allowed...
voting, because you're on the thing.
Yeah. And, you want to honor the nominees.
You do. Some people don't, but you do. Go ahead.
I think people do, but it's a lot because there's so many categories. You're allowed to nominate as many people as you feel deserve a nomination, and there are some 300 people in each category.
All deserving.
All deserving and great. And you know what was exciting for me and also really an eye-opener was there are hundreds of amazing actors. And people we know, and people, some people are like all the hosts of Saturday Night Live, for Best Comedy Actor. And it's not about the best, it's about this amazing collection of talented people who are there not because they did the show or the job to get an Emmy nomination or want to, but because they cared about the work, they did the work, they were there for the work, and and then therefore somebody at their studio or network or on their show decided that they might be eligible for an Emmy nomination.
And it's an important point, I think, because so many actors in particular just watch the Emmys, and they watch with a full heart and aspirations and hope. And, when you were telling me about going through this process, you got moved by, because you see behind the curtain, many of these people, some of whom are at our studio, and we both know the work that went into getting their little name, in fine print, by the, It's important.
It's important. It is important. And every person I clicked on was about being excited about their talent and excited about their place on their journey. And really, I do find it moving. It was a lot. It took many hours.
Who'd you vote for?
A lot of people. It's not even about voting. It wasn't voting. It was about who's nominated. Who might be nominated and who. For the thousands of people who will go through this, and people rise to the top because of their visibility. So if you're on that TV show, you probably have a better shot at it. And some people campaign for themselves and all that. But it was really wonderful to see actors who we know who have been at this a while, and who have gone through highs and lows and despair and all of that we all go through, that you all go through. Just sitting there, eligible for nomination, and at that place, and I found that exhilarating and encouraging.
Because some of that, again, as we've seen, because we know some of the the path that some of those folks took to get where they are just now. We've been present for the years, and indeed they've been years sometimes, dare I say a decade or so for some, in the desert with nothing. Nothing but the work, nothing but the work. The agent's gone, that there's no prospects, waking up on a Wednesday with nothing to do, and they found the way to come back to the practice of the work consistently. And they did it for its own sake. They didn't do it, particularly in those moments, as we know, to get their name on the in that place. But they found a way to come back to the work, and step by step by step by step by step. And now they're in this place. And by the way, in 2-3 years, 10 years, who knows?
Or they're on that list, and they won't be on the selection list, because that selection list, as I said, will go to the people on the fancier shows with the shinier titles. But it doesn't matter. And it just also speaks to those 10 years of rolling up your sleeves and doing the work for its own sake, because you love it, because you have to, with every faith that it will be seen and appreciated when that moment is right, and not making it the focus of your work, but a little bonus at the end of things. And so that's what we advocate for, and that it's hard sometimes to remember that why you're on this journey and why this matters, and what it takes also, to be that kind of Olympian who is in and of it all the time, who is at the acting gym of life all the time, who's living the life of an actor all the time.
And I think ultimately that if you're doing it to get on that list, it's going to be problematic. So you have to find the joy in the practice. And I think that's what everyone on that list has found as well. Ups and downs, my goodness. I mean, pulling out your hair of frustration, but also loving that, because the frustration is in the work, in trying to dig deeper and push farther against your own boundaries and the boundaries of the work itself. And so when you lose yourself in that, it's exhilarating, and step by step leads to good things, whatever those good things are. So the takeaway here is, don't watch the Emmys or the Oscars or the anything and get it twisted and think that is the means to an end, or that someone came out of nowhere or whatever. These folks have been in these trenches doing it for a long, long time and have found the joy in it.
I want to say two things about that, just that inspired me in terms of what you said. One is, when you look at those lists and you sit down to watch the Emmys with your popcorn and your friends, don't feel like this is not reachable and this is outside of possibility. Because again, these are people who are in the trenches with you, here in class and in the industry and in and of the work on set. They are with you, and they are doing the same thing as you, and this possibility is endless for you. And secondly, when you do that kind of work, that is an audition technique, because you bring that kind of joyous, muscular, committed, excited work into an audition room. You let your agents know about it. The industry finds you in it in all kinds of places. That's the kind of thing that excites people, that gives them ease, that makes them feel like you are one of them, that you are there to bring them back to the work that they signed up for in the first place.
But got sidetracked on because of life and the studio calling and whatever else, right?
Yeah, budgets and schedules and location scouting and all the crazy things. You get to bring them back to that, and they love you for it, and they cast you for it.
And that's why we built this place. Actually, this place, right?
Yeah.
To be a place of practice. To be there in the desert, but also, when you find the oasis too, because the work maintains. Things are up and down in your career and your life, but what we find, and this is the takeaway from that list, is that it's those that can come back to the work and find success always through the work, not through a publicist or whatever else. But it's getting back to the work consistently.
Yeah, it's not about the red carpet. So keep doing the work. Have faith. Stand shoulder to shoulder with anybody who's on that list. Be of the work, and you are on that list. And we applaud you for it. We see you. We appreciate you, and we welcome you home.